Hello everyone, and welcome to our very first tutorial in the series of EWEB design, which we're going to be looking at HTML and CSS. And now this series are based on the course unit of EWEB design that is offered by the Faculty of Computing and Informatics and taught by Mr. Bashir Mutebi. Now, I've been working closely with him, and we want to use this time of quarantine to expound on our content and to help one another get more knowledge and keep on having the online discussions that we have before. Now, this series are intended to take you through the practical HTML and CSS, which will lead to designing websites that are up to standards and professional level. And as you can see, any web page that you will come across is basically and typically built on the blocks of HTML and CSS plus other supporting languages. If you want to see the source code, you can right click, then you can right click and you say view page source code, or you can press Ctrl U, and actually you'll see that you'll be able to see the HTML that was used to come up with a page. Okay, so don't forget to go to MUBS and check out the different material that is posted by our different lecturers. You talk about HTML and CSS, and I want us to understand the difference between the two languages. HTML, think about it more like the skeleton, yeah? The skeleton that gives the structure of something, the building blocks. If you're building a house and you have different blocks and you're putting them together, I would think of them as HTML. And then, how do I want this house to be displayed? Or how do I want my body at the end of it all to be displayed? Then I add flesh on it, good eyes, hair, and maybe even put on nice looking clothes for people to see and admire how I look like, but supported by my skeleton behind me. So that would be CSS. So ideally, HTML is going to be working on our structure and the skeleton of our web pages, and CSS is going to be dealing with the designing and styling of our web pages to the end users who are going to be seeing how our work looks like. Now, I'm going to first take you through HTML. And HTML, as we can see, it has different blocks that when you put them together, we come up with what they call a web page. We have a web page that is made up of the declaration part. This basically just tells the browser that, you know what, this is what you're going to be dealing with, and this is the type of document that you're going to be handling, and it's an HTML document. And then we open our HTML tag, which has different tags within it. You're going to be looking at the different elements and the tags, but this is the basic structure of how the web page looks like. So in this course, what do we need, or what do we require? We're going to require what we call a text editor. Usually use Atom, but for this particular course, we're going to be using Sublime. Now, a text editor, you remember in our first year when we are studying ICT, we learned that programming, or a program, is a set of instructions that are put together. But however, we need some kind of IDE or text editor to help us edit those instructions that will tell the computer what to do. Now, in this case, that will tell the browser what to do. We shall be needing a web browser. A web browser is an application software that is used to display web pages and web content to the end user. So there are quite so many of them. There is Mozilla, Firefox, there is Chrome, Safari, name it. But in our case, I'm going to be using Chrome and the text editor of Sublime. So thank you so much for following. The next tutorial we're going to be starting with getting our hands dirty and the actual coding to get to know exactly what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Thank you for listening.